Do you ever feel stuck, like everything in your life is feeling kind of hard and you're not exactly sure what to do so you can get happy again? Well, sometimes I do, but I have something that really helps, and that's what I'm excited to share with you because I think that it can help you too. I also want to define the term universe. There is, in the New Age, this talk about universe as if the universe is almost a supreme being. Well, I believe that the universe was created by God, and there is power in what we put out, and there is a response back. I wouldn't say that we understand exactly how that works, except that God promises that He will bless His people, and He commands us to have positive attitudes and to love each other and have faith and hope. I am going to be talking about Louise Hay's How to Love Yourself cards, and I won't be talking about all of them because there are some that I don't agree with, and there are just too many. If after you watch this video you decide to purchase these, I will say that when you go through them, if you find a card you just don't agree with, and after you think about its meaning and how it applies to you and your belief, just throw it away, because you will probably find cards that are like that. But there are so many that really can impact you and change your thinking, because we tend to naturally go to the negative, and especially in today's world, it's just consumed with the negative politics, criticism of other people, this big thing about canceling other people when they don't agree with them or they think they have said something very offensive. The feeling that we should forgive each other and have kindness for each other and appreciation for each other is kind of fading away. We don't have to be that way, because that really does bring negativity to us and unhappiness to us. If you find that you relate to any of this, you might want to subscribe. We talk about simplifying and slowing our lives and looking for ways and actual methods of things we can do to make our lives happier and to deal with the reality of our lives, because we have challenges. I'm going to go through and let's pick out some of these cards. Each one has like a big statement on the front and then something that supports it on the back. So on the back it says, "Every habit and pattern I create serves me in some way. When I'm ready to let it go, the universe helps me release it." I personally would change that to God helps me release it. And if you think about that, we create habits and we create patterns. Sometimes those are positive habits and patterns, and sometimes they're not, because it's really easy to fall into a pattern of looking for the negative, just automatically seeing the negative and talking about the negative things instead of really concentrating on hope and gratitude and the lessons we're learning from the situations we're in. For instance, I do have fibromyalgia. I mention it sometimes. Sometimes I think this is kind of a dangerous thing for me to be doing, to talk about my fibromyalgia as if I'm focusing on it all the time. And it is easy that when I'm having these hard times, because someone with fibromyalgia likely knows that there are ups and downs, times when you almost feel normal. And I really appreciate when I have those times, and especially if they go on for months. And then times where I have a flare, where it's difficult to get through the day. I might have more pain than usual. It might be harder for me to do things than usual. And the danger you have during a flare is that you get thinking about it and talking about it so much that you go from someone who happens to have fibromyalgia to someone who is fibromyalgia, and you are absolutely stuck in this. But if you're talking more positive about the good things in life, I do think it makes it easier to get out of the flare back into the good times. I'm not talking about the type of positive thinking that was really popular a number of years ago. There was a video that went around, and people would get up every day and they'd have these thoughts that they'd read, and so often they were concerning specific material things, like, I am wealthy, I am going to be making $1 million, I want this car, I want this specific car, and they were really focused on that kind of thing. Oh, The Secret, that was the name of the video, The Secret. But I don't believe that God works that way. I do believe that there is power in being positive and loving. He often brings things to us that we're just not aware of at the time will be very good for us. And sometimes the things that we think in our limited understanding of the world and how he works will be good for us, but they actually end up being a challenge. I had a digital scrapbooking company for a little bit more than 9 years, and I became very successful with it, and there were a few years which I made a lot of money. What I learned from that was a couple of things. There really is a point of kind of saturation where all of your needs are met. You don't have worries about being able to pay your bills and take care of things and to have some enjoyment. But anything beyond that doesn't feel any different. At least it didn't to me, and it doesn't to a lot of people. There are some people who are never satisfied, that just chase and chase and chase more. Well, I think that's kind of sad. The danger in becoming successful like that is that it is so easy for pride to sneak in. Then for you to start feeling kind of smart, that you were so smart that this happened to you. And I look back, I am embarrassed and ashamed of the times when I did feel kind of smart that I had done that. But it was nearly not me that had done it. God had blessed me. That business was able to bless a lot of families, and so a lot of good came out of it. But you know what I also learned is those things can be taken away really quickly. There was a crash in 2007 and 2008, and then all of a sudden people weren't so interested in it because you don't have to buy scrapbooking materials. Then all of a sudden we weren't making as much money, and I started worrying about we got to bring in enough money so that the people that work for me can make enough money to take care of their families. And right now we are mainly on Social Security. My husband has a little bit of a federal retirement, which mostly pays for our health insurance, but we don't have enough with the Social Security that we don't have to feel like we are completely on the edge all the time. So my husband has to work. I've mentioned that he lost his job, and right now he is working towards being a bus driver, a school bus driver. The ability to be happy in all of those situations is really a choice, and it has to do with, am I grateful for what I have, and am I looking for ways to enjoy my life that go beyond money? So if I read this again, every habit and pattern I create serves me in some way. So whether we're being positive or negative, sometimes these negative habits serve us, but in the wrong way. If we're constantly reminding other people that we're not well, that can be a habit. And how is that serving us? Is it serving us in a way that we feel like then we're getting sympathy, help we need? You know, we all have to be just kind of honest with ourselves about that. And I can't give the answer to you, but I can answer that for me. And I know that by focusing and talking about it too much, it's serving me in the wrong way. When I'm ready to let go of that, God helps me find a better way of being. Another one is I forgive all past experiences. I accept that all I have created for myself, my past and my present, I am willing to allow my future to happen. Sometimes we really do get stuck in the past. We get stuck in the things that have happened to us that were bad things that we didn't necessarily cause, that people were cruel or did things, or sometimes we get stuck in the mistakes that we make and we really regret them, and we think our life would be so much better if we didn't do those things, and we can just get stuck in that. Or sometimes we can get stuck in, oh, I was doing so much better then and I'm not now. But here we're saying, okay, I accept the things that happened, and especially the things I created for myself, the bad things that happened, that I happened to create by foolish activities or mistakes. I am willing to let my future happen. So I can leave that behind and I can go forward and choose a better way. Another one here is I was born to enjoy life. I am a beloved child. It says the universe, but I say God. I am a beloved child of God and have been given everything I need for every experience I shall have. So whether we're having good times or hard times, He will support us and give us the things we need to deal with it and get through those things if we have faith and we have hope. He does not say your life is going to be easy. You're not going to have any problems whatsoever. And of course, sometimes we wish it could be just easy and smooth and we'd feel good and we'd have enough of everything, and we feel kind of sorry for ourselves. If we can see and ask ourselves, what am I learning from this situation? Then we'll see, I'm actually given everything I need to deal with every experience I have if I have that hope. Here's when I speak and think positively. My current thinking shapes my future. If I hear myself using negative or limiting words, I change them. I believe there is so much power in this. I've mentioned before that I've had some problems with depression. I had an episode of major depression, and I went to therapy and I got medication, but I discovered I was stuck because of my thinking patterns. And it was actually a book by Louise Hay that showed me that. And I realized I am letting myself get away with this thinking, and I have the power to change how I'm looking at things and thinking things. And I worked on that, and then when I went to my therapist, he was like, what has happened to you? I don't believe I've ever seen a patient turn around so quickly. So I told him about the book, and I said, I realize that I am causing a lot of this because of the focus I am choosing. That did not take away the reality of the depression, which is physical illness. But you see, I had been doing the right things for that, and he was a therapist that dealt with trauma and had some specific techniques to help with trauma, which didn't require you rehashing them. They were really effective, but I was still stuck in these negative, feeling kind of sorry for myself patterns. And when I started saying these things and reading things to myself, and just the thought of reading through these and speaking them out loud, that is teaching yourself and teaching your mind and teaching your spirit a better way of thinking. Because when I look for things that I am thankful for, I have a perpetual attitude of gratitude. I am content to be who and what I am. Last night, we went to a concert, a Winona concert, in the Sandy Amphitheater, which has been my dream for years, to see Winona in that particular location. We were there and waiting for the show to start, and I started looking around at the people, and such a wide variety of people. You just really don't see people that look like each other unless you're looking at a family group. And if you go anywhere, Disneyland or to the park, and you really look at people, you realize everyone is so different. So why am I trying to change myself? Why am I so discontent with my round tummy and my little double chin and my shortness? Because this is who I am. This is who I was created to be. Instead, to be grateful for who I am. To be grateful that I can walk, that my hands can move, that I can think, that I can love, all the good things about me. How better would it be if we're content to be who I am and what I am? Now, I'm not talking about being content with all of the things that maybe we could change to make ourselves better. That would be a little bit of a discontent, because we know, I should be more grateful. Or it would be better for me if I spoke more positively. It would be better if I was more able and willing to show more loving kindness to others. But I'm talking about our basic, this is who God created. How much better it would be if we could be grateful and to be content with who and what we are, instead of wishing we could be something else. Here's one. This present experience is a stepping stone to new awareness. My spiritual growth comes to me in ways I don't quite expect. I know I'm always safe. I have learned to thank the Lord for my challenges, including my health challenges, because I'm learning so much for them. Would I wish that I was perfectly healthy and didn't have to deal with them, and I would always feel strong and always feel able to do everything I desire to do? Yeah, it would be really great. And yet, if I had never gone through some of the health challenges that I've gone through or currently face, I don't know if I would be as compassionate as I am now. I don't know if I would be as grateful for those good, strong times that I'm able to do things. It's definitely made me a more patient person, because I've learned, and I will say to my family, to others, I just have to get through this. I just need to be patient because this will lift if I do the right things to take care of myself right now. Here's one. I open myself to all good. I receive life's gift with joy and pleasure and gratitude. Sometimes we get into these periods where we just assume everything is going to go wrong. And maybe we're not personally that way, but I bet that you know someone, at least one person who's that way, who's kind of a negative Nelly or a negative Ned, where they're always talking about this bad thing that's coming, this bad thing that happened, the world's going to fall apart. Oh, well, we can't trust this because we're not going to have what we need now. They're always assuming that the worst is just around the corner. Well, that can't be good. It can't be good for them. I don't think it's good for other people around them, which is why so many of us will kind of pull back from the person who's like that, because we can kind of feel that is not good for me to be constantly hearing that. And so this card teaches to really listen to ourselves and pay attention to ourselves. Are we doing that? Are we always saying or feeling or thinking, yeah, it's going to be terrible? How much better would it be if we could realize, hey, I'm doing that? Maybe if I start talking about and thinking about, I open myself to good things, that our life will change. Here's one. I am grateful for all the wonderful things in my world. I express gratitude to Heavenly Father or to God. It says the universe, but I believe in God and I like to give God the credit for things. I express gratitude to God often, knowing that my thoughts are heard and appreciated. Here's one. I am precious and I cherish who I am. I am worthy of my own love. I don't have to earn love any more than I have to earn the right to breathe. Here's an important one. I affirm that I am totally willing to freely forgive everyone. I release from within me all bitterness and resentment. I let go of old hurts and forgive everyone, including myself. I support myself in making the right choices for me. I am incredibly capable whenever I encounter a challenge in my life. I use the experience to learn and grow. Can you imagine the power of saying this to yourself every day? I support myself in making the right choices for me. I am incredibly capable. When I encounter a challenge in my life, I use the experience to learn and grow. I support myself in making the right choices for me. I am incredibly capable. Whenever I encounter a challenge in my life, I use the experience to learn and grow. That can change your mind. That can change your heart. That can help you know I'm not as helpless maybe as I thought I was, and I do have the ability to make right choices. So you see, if you even get one card and you just talk through it, you feel kind of a power coming to you and a changing of your mind and a changing of your heart and a realization that you really can have more of a positive impact on your life and a positive impact on the lives of those you love and those that you interact with. Here is a video that YouTube, that knows you so much better than I do, feels that you are really going to enjoy. And I hope that you'll stick around because we have so many positive things coming in the future. I'll see you next time. Bye.